In the last 7 years, I've made an average of $300,000 a month, and that's every single month. And so if you think that creating an income like this is a fluke or a one-off or a loophole or it's not easy to do, this video is going to prove that theory wrong. Because in order to do something 84 times, it must be repeatable. And in this video, I'm going to take you through that exact repeatable process that I've used to do 300,000 a month and have done for the last 84 months. But first, if you're new here, my name's John, husband, father, and founder of AdClients.com. And over the last 10 years, I've built multiple online businesses that have generated over $30 million online without having to hustle 24/7, sacrifice your personal life, or stop doing the things that you love. And now here on the channel, I help others do the same. There are 3 key things that you need to have a business that can even produce 300K a month or even 100K a month. Throughout this video, I've got resources and assets to help you, but you'll need to understand everything in this video. So open them up in a new tab so I can walk you through them in this video. The first thing you need in order to have a successful, thriving business is great offers and the ability to provide value to the marketplace. We'll talk more about that in a moment. The second thing you need is a very particular set of skills. And don't worry, I'm going to go through exactly what these skills are and how you can get them quickly in this video. And thirdly, you need a vehicle. I'm not talking about a car. You need a vehicle for sales. So in order to take someone from a complete stranger to someone who gives you money. So the first thing we need to talk about is your offer and your ability to provide value in the marketplace. And these two are intrinsically linked. When you're putting offers together, we sometimes think that an offer is just the product. It's just the thing, but it's not. An offer is what we're wrapping that program or product in terms of its messaging and positioning that's going to make it clear to the right type of person that this can help them, but we've also been able to lead with value in that positioning and in that marketing. So when we're going out into the marketplace, we don't simply want to add our product in as an option for them to buy. We want to become the obvious choice. We want our offer to be irresistible, and that is often tied to the value proposition in the marketplace. So how do we demonstrate value? How can we make sure that someone sees us and chooses us over the competition? Well, we need to, in many ways, do what I call displayed understanding. Displayed understanding is where we make sure the people that we're trying to get the attention of understand that we get them. There is value in being understood. If you're having a hard time and you go and sit down with a friend or a family member, there is value in that conversation by sharing your frustrations and feeling heard, understood, and that person gets you and gets the situation. The same is true when we're going out online on social media and with our online advertisements, when we can use messaging that isn't just, hey, I've got this product that you might want to buy, but instead leading with the value of, I get where you're at. I understand your frustrations, I understand your pains, I understand what you're wanting, and I have a solution. That person's naturally going to feel magnetically attracted to you. So a very simple exercise that you should think about doing is get an A4 piece of paper, draw a line down the middle and a line across the top, and put pains on one side and put gains on the other. And the idea is for you to list out as many pain points as you possibly can for your ideal target market. And we don't want to skimp out on this list. We don't just want to have 3 pain points and that's it. We're talking 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 pain points, because we don't just want to speak to the big obvious ones. We want to speak to the very granular ones that may not make sense for every single person in your target market, but it certainly will for some of them. And so the more of these you have, the more ammunition you have for your marketing, the more you're going to be able to connect with a greater number of people within your market. And then we do the opposite on the other side. We make a big list of gain points. What do your potential clients want? What is the solution that you provide going to give to them? What is the result out the other end? And again, we don't just want the top 3 obvious results. We want to get really granular. How is this going to make them feel? How is this going to improve their life? Get really, really granular. And now you've got a big detailed page of pains and gains that we can use in any and all content that we put out onto the internet. And by doing this simple exercise, you will be many steps ahead of your competition. Because think about it, if you've got solution A and your competition has solution B, and you both provide the result, when you go out on social media trying to attract clients, if they have very generic messaging, just talking about how great they are and talking about what their product is, whereas you do the same thing, but but instead you wrap it up in, I get you, I understand you, and I have a solution that can help, you are naturally going to win those clients because of the associated value with you understanding them. So now we understand how to connect with the audience that we want. We now need to move on to how we structure our offers and structure our business set up for scalable success. If we're trying to get to $300,000 months, that's very different than trying to land a couple of extra clients a month. We now have to build a system in the business. And I call this the offer triangle. And I want to illustrate it for you right now. There are 3 points on the triangle. At the very top, we've got client results. On the one side, we've got lifestyle, and on the other side, we've got scalability. These are 3 things that are critical to your offer and your business's success, and they need to be working together, and more importantly, making sure that none of them are over leveraged or overextended upon. Allow me to explain. Client results at the top is critical. When you are structuring your business for rapid scale, you need to make sure that you're putting your clients first, that your clients are actually winning. The businesses that I've seen in our industry doing this type of stuff, coaching, training, courses, services, the ones that don't make it very far, they might even have a moment of scale, but then it crashes and burns, are the ones that don't care about their customers. They don't care about their clients. They only care about scaling the business. That is short-lived. If you want a business that scales and scales for the long run and does it 84 times, you need to make sure that you're putting your clients first, that a high proportion of your clients are getting the result that they came from, that you have raving fans, and that's going to start to spread like wildfire. But to do that, that means putting time and effort into your client success department. Let's move on to lifestyle. The second thing that we need in the offer triangle is making sure that we're building this business around our lifestyle, because as we try to scale to these 300K months and beyond, what can often happen is the first thing to go is our lifestyle. We're working late into the evening, we're working at the weekends, we're working far more than we wanted to for far little compensation, and we feel stuck in our own business. So you need to right now reorientate your business's efforts around the lifestyle that you want. When do you want to work? How much do you want to work? How much time off do you want? And you must structure the deliverables of your program to the clients that you're helping around the lifestyle choices that you've predetermined. And then the third thing is scalability. We need to make sure that we're having clients winning, that we're building this around our lifestyle, but that we're also set up to be able to scale, that we don't hit a ceiling. Sometimes we structure our offers and our price points in such a way that we can only have X number of clients before we have hit a ceiling that we cannot surpass. If you want to get to 6 figures a month and multiple 6 figures a month, you need to make sure your offers are built for scale, but that can't be to the detriment of your client results. So now let's take a look at how overextending on one of these jeopardizes the success of the other two. If you overextend on client results, there's going to be a problem. There's a difference between going above and beyond for your clients and doing an unnecessary amount of work for too little pay. For example, if you're charging by the hour, then maybe you're charging $50 an hour and you are at your client's beck and call at all times. Furthermore, you can only have a maximum of 20 clients. You maxed out on clients. You're doing far more for them than you really should be for that level of compensation. That's going to have a knock-on effect on lifestyle and also your ability to scale. You're not going to have a lifestyle because you're working at all hours of the day whenever a client calls upon you, and you have stunted your ability to grow because you've hit that ceiling we talked about. Furthermore, if you overextend on lifestyle, well, now if you only want to work 2 hours a week on a beach sipping a pina colada, but you want your business to scale to 6 figures, well, you're going to have a problem with your client results because you're not giving them enough of your time, that they're going to suffer. And you're also not going to have a business that can scale because it does take time and effort to do so. And then thirdly, overextending on scalability. And sadly, I've seen this time and time again. I've been in the industry for well over a decade. I've seen companies come and go. And I've seen the ones that are just so focused and driven on scaling the business that they burn themselves out on lifestyle, they burn their teams out on lifestyle, and also their clients suffer. No one's getting results and everything just crashes and burns. All three of these need to be in unison, working together perfectly. Now, before we move on to the second thing, if you're wondering whether the business you have is built for scale, is following the right model, and is the right type of offer, then I have this great resource for you called the Business Viability Checklist. And it's a 13-point checklist. These are the 13 things that your business and your offer needs to satisfy to make sure that it's a viable business model that can scale. This is my free gift to you. I hope you enjoy it. There's a link in the description box or somewhere around this video. Click on that and tell me where to send it. So the second thing that you need is the ability to build a certain set of skills. Now, there are three that are critically important. It's marketing, sales, and mindset. And we're going to get to these in just a second. Let's start with marketing. Marketing is so important for the success of your ability to scale, far more than I think people realize. You can have two identical products. You can imagine that they deliver the same result to the end client and the end user, but the person that has the best marketing is the one that wins. And by wins, I mean they're going to get the client. Think about it. Your ability to deliver an incredible service, an incredible program, an incredible course has nothing to do with your ability to attract someone to buy it. You could have the best kept secret, the most amazing program in your industry, hidden from all visibility because your marketing absolutely sucks. But on the contrary, you could have one of your competitors that has a product that is absolutely terrible. It is trash. It is dog poo. No one should have any business going through that program, and it's not getting anyone results. But they're making volumes of sales because although they have a crappy product, their marketing is far superior to yours. So you have to understand, when we're looking to scale a business, it's actually marketing that wins the client. Now, you have to make sure that you're delivering on the back end, otherwise you're going to have refund requests, you're going to have unhappy clients, and you're going to have people talking about your business in a negative light. So you've got to make sure you back up the goods, but it's marketing that actually attracts your clients. And I know that you've experienced this yourself because you've been online and you've seen people that are proposing they have a solution to one of your problems. Now, when you make that buying decision, have you actually seen the product itself? Have you been in the training area? Have you been delivered the program before you pay? No, you are paying based on a description of the product. And now once you've paid, you need to be able to go in and make sure that what you've been delivered matches the description in the marketing. But there's a second skill that works in tandem with marketing, and that is sales. Marketing drums up the business, sales closes the deal. That's the way to think about it. And what you need is marketing that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you that will make your sales so much easier. And you have to get this balance just right. And this is a big mistake that I see people making when trying to scale their information or coaching businesses into this 6 figures a month and beyond, is that they weigh far too heavily on the sales and the marketing is no good. I want you to think about this like a client conversion timeline. The client is going from 0, having never heard about you before, and going to a 10, which is, here's my credit card, I want to throw it down the phone at you, charge me right now. That's a 10. And there is a moment along that timeline where marketing hands off to sales. So that could be down at a 1, meaning marketing has done barely any effort over on marketing side. They have reached out to someone with a cold DM or a cold email, and that person just happened to respond back, and there you are finding yourselves on a sales call. Well, that person doesn't really know you yet, like you yet, trust you yet. Marketing hasn't done its job. It's cut some corners and now it's just got them straight on the phone with you. So for you to have an effective sales conversation, you've got to get someone from a 1 to a 10. That is a tall order, and one that is very challenging, and one that leads to difficult sales conversations that don't feel like they're going very well, that you hit loads of resistance, loads of objections, and you get endless no's at the very end of the conversation. On the contrary, imagine getting on the phone with people at a 9. Imagine your marketing is doing such an incredible job at finding the right people at the right time with the right messaging, and then indoctrinating them, and then helping them to see that what you have is the right thing for them, and it's all fully automated marketing. And then you invite people to book a call on your calendar to talk about enrolling, but they are now a 9 out of 10. They are so close to being sold. Now you can imagine those conversations are fun. They're enjoyable. The prospect is enjoying the conversation. You're enjoying the conversation. And it doesn't take very much now to close that gap and have someone sign up and become a client. And the problem that I see with many scaling businesses is that they seem satisfied with getting people to a 1, 2, or a 3 on the conversion timeline before they hand off to sales. And that means your job to close someone is infinitely harder, and for many of you, close to impossible. Because I don't know about you, you need to learn sales skills, but you don't want to be a full-time salesperson, and you don't want to have to learn all the manipulative, crazy sales stuff. You just want to be able to learn a handful of helpful sales tips and then be able to get some yeses at the end of the phone. For your ability to do that, you need to make sure that you're speaking to the 7s, the 8s, and the 9s, and that's where that's possible. And it's in many cases the vehicle that you're using for the wider business practice that's going to enable you to do that. And I'm going to share that in point 3 in just a moment. But where we're up to right now is you need to master some marketing skills to position you correctly and move people up the timeline. And then you need to craft a handful of sales skills to take someone who's booking on your calendar at even a 6, maybe a 7, maybe an 8, and do just enough to have a great conversation, but get them over the line into a client. And if you would like some help with this specifically, I've got an incredible sales framework that works in this scenario, and it works so darn well. It's called the push and the pull frameworks. They come together as a pair. You can't just have one, you need both of them working together. And it's an incredible sales framework, and it's my free gift to you. Again, there's a link in the description box, and there's a resource there for you. Just let me know where to send it. I'll get it straight over to you. Now, the third skill that we need to talk about is your mindset, your ability to think and operate like a high performer who is ready for that level of scale. And I used to think mindset was a waste of time. The idea of just thinking my way into success was like, well, what on earth are you talking about? But I've since learned just how powerful it is to have the right mindset, but followed up with the right action. So I've got a list of some of my biggest tips that I want to share with you about how to think in the right way, but it goes beyond just thinking. It's actually how we act. It's the way we make decisions, and it's going to make all the difference. So let's get into that list right now. So the first one is I want you thinking and acting and making decisions like the future version of yourself you need to be in order to have that level of success. Let me unpack this a little bit. The version of me just 2 years ago would have no hope of running the business that I do today. I've had to up-level my mindset, my skills, the way I think and the way I make decisions. Furthermore, the version of John 5 years ago would have no hope of running the business that we had 2 years ago. I'm constantly going through an evolving process, and I'm doing that again right now. I have new goals, new targets, new aspirations, and I'm well aware that the version of me right now will really struggle to obtain that until I start to lean into and learn the skills of who I need to be and who I need to become to hit that level of success. So how do we do this? Well, you need to be learning and modeling those that are ahead of you. You need to be finding every book, every training program, every YouTube video, every insight you can possibly gain from the people in your industry that you aspire to and that have the business at a size that you want. And you need to watch and you need to learn. What do they do? How do they spend their time? How do they act? How do they make decisions? And you now need to, as best you can, start operating in that way, not operating in the way you feel you need to maintain the business that you have today. The next thing is you've got to identify and then rectify staying in this cycle of perfectionism and then procrastination. This is a killer of your ability to scale. It's actually a killer of your ability to even get the wheels moving in your business, let alone scale. We as entrepreneurs are naturally creative and we're excited about what we're putting out into the marketplace, but that often comes with a bias towards perfectionism. And that then holds us back, because the more we want things to be perfect, the more we feel things need to be perfect, we then procrastinate over launching said thing. This would be putting your course together. Your course is good enough to launch, but it could be better. And so you will not launch that course until you reshoot that module 1, lesson 7 video, or you add a new cheat sheet or a new checklist into that program, and you spend years and years refining an offer and you're never even putting it out into the marketplace, not realizing that the better way to refine the offer is to put out a program that's at 80% of what you wanted it to be and allow your customers, the market, to help you tweak it based on what they're telling you they want. Same goes for building marketing campaigns and not launching it because, again, it could be better, or shooting an ad campaign and not sending that video to social media and putting it out there because, again, it could be better. That perfectionism leads to procrastination, and you just constantly go round and round in this cycle. The next thing, and the way I want you to think, because let's not forget the context of this video, we're talking about scaling to 300K per month. We have to make data-driven decisions. We have to remove emotion from the decisions that we're making. So many times I see entrepreneurs who are trying to scale, but they're trying to scale based on what I think should work or what I like. So for example, I like the way this page is designed and how this represents my brand. So it's currently not converting very well, but I'm going to dig my heels in because I like this. Whereas there's another page that the data is saying this converts better. It's slightly uglier, it doesn't match your brand perfectly, and you don't really like the color scheme here, but that is currently converting better. The data is pointing us to this. So every time in your business a decision is coming up that you need to make, you need to, as best you can, find the relevant data that will help you drive that decision, and not just doing it based on an emotional feeling. That is going to keep you stuck and keep you trapped. The next thing is you are the average of the 5 closest people to you. You've probably heard this before and it couldn't be truer. The more you spend time with a very particular group of people around you, you will start to take on the habits and the thought processes and decision-making ability that those people around you have. Just as you, as one of the 6, are influencing the rest of the group, you've got 5 influences coming back at you, and that is going to trump the way you used to do things. So you have to change your circle of influence if you want to do certain things in business. That doesn't mean getting rid of all of your friends that don't relate to what you're doing in business. I'm not saying that. I've got loads of great friends that have nothing to do with this particular world that I'm in. But the point I am making is that you need to find an additional circle, an additional group, an additional community that you're spending a good portion of your time in and around, so that you can start to learn and see how they think, how they act, and you can start to take on some of these good habits to help you get to the next level. And the final thing on mindset is you need to understand opportunity cost. It is huge. I prioritize speed now over anything else. I want to get somewhere faster. I'm well aware of the time it takes for me to learn something myself. And if I could learn it in 2 weeks by paying a coach, as opposed to 2 years by trying to save a few coins and figure it out myself, I'm going to be able to achieve far more with the years that I have to really build this career and have a massive impact. And so opportunity cost is huge, and you have to understand it. Imagine that the business you have right now has the ability to generate the $300,000 per month that we're currently talking about. Let's just imagine you have that ability. It's in there somewhere. You just don't currently have the right skills or understand the right process. Well, if you tried to figure it out by yourself, you could spend 10 years trying to figure out how to do that. But what if you could hire a coach who's been there, done it, and could share with you the exact playbook and implement it into your business, and you could do that within 1 year? Well, the difference is getting to 300K within 1 year as opposed to 10 years. That's a missed opportunity of $30 million or thereabouts, because 300K per month is 3.6 million a year. Times that by 10 years, we're well into 30 million, and we could have saved that money. We could have generated that money had we understood opportunity cost and hired someone to get us there faster. So now, circling back to what I mentioned in the beginning of this video, 3 critical things we need: our offer and our ability to provide value, we've spoken about; the skills that we need, marketing, sales, and mindset, we've spoken about. The third thing we need to talk about is the vehicle in which you're using to make all of this happen. We need a vehicle that's going to help us to find the right people in the marketplace that we can provide value to and entice them into our world, and a vehicle that is going to help our marketing and our sales work perfectly together to help us find and educate the right prospects and get them far enough up the conversion timeline to make them a closable client. This is also known as a sales funnel or a marketing funnel or a marketing campaign. And I have tested so many in my time, and there's no shortage of options, and there's even more options of gurus that will teach you these different models, so it can feel a bit overwhelming. Right now, for me, there is one marketing funnel, one vehicle that has stood the test of time, that has been the backbone upon which I have built my business to the 300K per month and maintained it for 84 months straight, and that is a webinar funnel. A webinar funnel is absolutely incredible, and I want to share with you a few reasons why. First, when you have a webinar funnel, people need to register to attend your webinar. So that means they give you their name and their email address. So you're building an email list, which is a vital asset inside of your business. And I've spoken about that many times in other videos here on the channel. But furthermore, in our testing, the value of a webinar registration, a webinar lead, is 7 times more valuable than that of other funnels. Meaning, if someone's opting in just for a free resource, it can often be quite impulsive. Were they actually an action taker, or did they just want a quick freebie? Whereas someone who is taking the time to register for a webinar with the intent of showing up, they're typically more valuable, meaning that they're the type of person that signs up for coaching at a far higher rate than someone that just opted in for a different type of funnel. The second reason that a webinar funnel is the king of marketing is you can fully automate it. So you can put an amazing presentation together, you can build a funnel one time, and you can fully automate it. So day or night, awake or asleep, you can have people coming into the presentation, watching it, learning from you, getting that value from you, booking onto your calendar, and you never had to play a part in it. Thirdly, the way in which you do your presentation is critical, because we need to provide value in the presentation alongside building know, like, and trust, and making sure people are booking a call on your calendar at just the right time where they're further up the timeline. Now, I haven't got time in this video to walk you through my entire webinar framework. It takes a while, but I do have another great resource for you that is my A to Z webinar framework, step by step. I literally show you every single thing you need to do in an amazing webinar presentation that will get you incredible results. Again, my free gift to you. I just want to help. There's a link in the description box. Go ahead and check that out. And the next thing that keeps webinars on its marketing throne is the fact that people are only able to book a call if they watch the whole presentation. There are loads of other marketing strategies, marketing funnels, but many of them allow you to book a call on that person's calendar, what I would say is prematurely, meaning they only watch 5 or 10 minutes worth of a piece of content before they're booking on your calendar. Well, that person's not up the conversion timeline yet. They're not qualified enough yet. Whereas with a webinar, they have to watch the whole presentation, and if they leave early, they don't get the invitation to book on your calendar. It's only people that get to the very end, thus demonstrating that they've enjoyed the content and they want further help, they are the ones that get the invitation. This leads to you getting a calendar full of high quality prospects that actually want what it is you're selling. So in conclusion, if you want to be able to scale to 300K per month consistently in your business, then you need to have an offer that provides value to the marketplace and demonstrates that value. You need to be satisfying the offer triangle for client results, lifestyle, and scalability. You need to be dialing in your skills in marketing, sales, and the way you think and act. And you need the right vehicle that is a scalable model to get you the right people on your calendar ready to become clients. So where do we go from here? Well, the most critical part of this is that you get a webinar vehicle set up correctly. So I've got a video right here that you can check out where I will walk you through the entire process, step A to step Z, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in a future video.